carrying tools and spare parts is always a good idea when you head out mountain biking, but if, like myself, sometimes you drive to the trails, then you have the luxury of taking quite a lot of stuff with you, but there's no need to go cramming your car with loads of stuff you don't need to take. But it's a really good idea to have a bit of a car boot setup. Now, this is typically what I have in the back of my car for when I go riding. All I need to do is simply chuck my bike in, pump, and my riding kit and hit the trails. First things first is seeing how much storage space you have in the back of your car. Now, even if you just put the seats back on any standard car, you've got a decent amount of room inside there. But what I quite often see when going to trail centres and places like that is guys with just literally endless amounts of stuff just luzzed in the back of their car, tyres, like blankets, all sorts of stuff. And they're always the people that take the longest getting ready. So the key is organisation. So I use a trunk liner dedicated for going in the back of the car. It's soft, it's got handles on it, it's got loads of compartments for separating items on there. And I keep lots of other things in there that are useful, like ice scrapers and things like that are useful for the car, spare light bulbs, etc. Now, if you didn't want to go out and buy yourself a trunk liner, you can use a plastic storage case. You can use pretty much anything you want, but it's good to have a thing that stays in the back of your car with X amount of kit inside it. And I'll get into that in a minute, but also there's a few other things you might want to bear in mind, especially if you ride in horrible conditions or you especially treasure your car. Now, I've got a trunk liner on the back of mine. It basically lines the entire boot of the car. There's various different models available in the market. Neil's also got one, and they're fantastic for just looking after your car. This one's got a little bit that rolls over the bumper of my car, so when I'm sitting on this and getting changed, it's not additionally scuffing it and losing any paint. It's also completely waterproof, which means on a really muddy ride, I don't have to clean my bike straight away. I can literally chuck it in the back, get home and clean it properly, and then when it's all dry, I can just brush it out again. They're really good for looking after the back of your car, and of course, it's just a part of it. It's just a good bit of kit to have. Now, also seat covers are definitely worth investing in. Now, I say this because sometimes you're going to go out for a longer ride, or maybe you'll be away for a few days, in which case you're likely to get changed there and drive in clean clothes. But quite often I'll go riding in the middle of winter and I'll literally drive home in the kit I'm riding in. I'll be wearing my flat pedal shoes. Literally, I'll just brush them off, sit on the seat cover and drive home. And then when I'm still wet at home, then I'll deal with all that stuff. It just means I don't have to have any additional time outside getting wet and more dirty. And at the end of the day, if it keeps your car clean, that's got to be a good thing, and they're dirt cheap as well. Now, it's always a good idea to keep some basic tools in the boot of your car for your bike. Now, no need to go overboard with this. This is essentially just to keep your bike in good condition when you're out on the trails and to cover all those likely things that might happen. So I'll always keep an inner tube, a spare gear cable, electrical tape, rubber gloves because you're going to be doing a dirty job at some point, cable cutters, a floor standing pump because pumping up your bike tyres with a mini pump is no fun. That should be done literally when you have to, just for argument's sake. Just throw your home workshop pump in when you go riding. It makes things a lot easier. Shock pump, a set of Allen keys. Obviously you need Allen keys and Torx keys. Just the common stuff on your bike that you need to adjust. Just take into account, have a look at your bike. It's going to be different for each particular bike out there. I also keep a spare pair of clear riding glasses in the boot of my car as well, because in the UK it rains more often than not, and it's one of those things, if you forget it, it can be really annoying. Now, all the tools I keep in the boot of my car, they literally stay here. These are duplicate tools. And that works for me. However, it might not work for all of you guys. You know, you might have limited amount of tools, in which case you might want to have just a small portable kit that you can just put in the car for when you go riding and then transfer back to your workshop. If you're a little bit more serious about working on your bikes, you've got your own bike cave, it could be worthwhile looking at something like this. Now, this is like an all-in-one travel toolkit, and this is ideal for using at home, and as well you can take it out on the trails and have some compartments inside. And it has all the stuff you need in there: chain whips, cassette tools, Allen keys, Torx keys, cable cutters, etc. And the good thing about it is in a hardened plastic case, so you're not going to lose any of your tools, they'll stay there. Super easy to chuck it in the boot of your car when you head out and hit the trails. Same as when you go to bike races, go on holiday, and also great to just leave at home in the workshop. So you can actually save a bit of money by using one of these for this sort of purpose. However, I'm okay with having my conventional toolkit at home and just a few basics in here. Now, I also keep a spare water bottle and one of these big 5-litre bottles of water in the car. I keep this in the footwell of the passenger seat in the back, so it can't rattle around and accidentally fall over and leak if it's got a bad lid in it. I also, in winter, take a bucket with me bucket, a brush and some bike wash, and keep that as a unit together. I don't tend to use it that much, but it's definitely got me out of jail a few times when I've got way too muddy to sort of go anywhere socially acceptable afterwards. And also it does mean you can use the water bottle itself as a bit of a jet wash. Like, it's a bit of a bodge, but it does work for getting the worst off if you really are covered in mud. Now I also like to keep some J cloths because they're not only they're good for cleaning parts of your bike, but they're reusable, you can wash them out, but they're good for cleaning your face, clean any mud off your hands and off any exposed skin areas, perhaps if you're wearing shorts, the gap between your socks and your knee pads, for example. I also keep a roll of old shop towel, an old rag just for cleaning my chain and other things like that, some chain lube and a water displacer of some kind, on the basis that if I do wash my bike, I don't want any surface rust to occur, and I just want to make sure it's just get the basics done. It's a pretty basic setup, but it just covers everything I need. Now in the summer, obviously you're going to probably be driving to the trails in a pair of shorts and t-shirt, and you might want to change the t-shirt if you get a bit sweaty, but you're going to be quite happy to drive home the same. Winter is a little bit different. You're going to be wet and muddy, so having a set of fresh clothes to change into, or perhaps to drive to the trails like I have today, and your riding kit to get changed into, is a good idea. Now I keep one of these big bags. It's essentially like one of those giant IKEA bags in the back of the car. It's waterproof. I can get changed in it if need be and dump all my kit inside there. And in here I've got waterproof, so I've got a spare carrier bag for any dirty kit and all my typical riding kit. But what I also carry in the back of my car is a carpet tile. Now these things have got plastic bottoms on them, and it's a nice carpet surface. You can just chuck this on the floor wherever you are and keep dry feet when you're getting changed. They don't cost a lot of money, so they're well worth just getting one and keeping it in the back of your car. It will always come in handy. Super useful. I'm quite happy just getting my kit off in the car park to get changed. And if that's not your cup of tea, then of course there are some other options if you want to be a bit more discreet. So one of them on the market is called changing the bag, is as you might think. Unzip it, put it on the floor, and inside it is a giant bag that you get inside. It's like a big poncho. It's windproof basically, so covers you up, keeps you out the elements, and you leave your dirty kit in it and you can actually throw the whole lot straight in the washing machine when you get in. So there's various different options available to you on the market. Now the last thing, but probably the most importantly, is how you actually pack your bike in your car. Obviously, you don't want your bike to get scratched by anything else that's rattling around, and you don't want to get mud and dirt on the backs of your seats or on the roof on the inside of your car, because the upholstery is a bit of a pain to have to continuously clean if you're riding all the time. Now, it's really good to have a specific method and a specific way you can get it in. Now, because I ride 29ers and obviously size XL bikes, I'm on the limit of what I can get in the back of a car. Now, lucky enough that I've got an estate that has got a bit of extra room in there, and what I normally need to do is take off my front wheel, put a little pad spacer in there just in case the lever gets operated. And I've got a very specific way that it fits in, but every time, bang, in it goes. I use that trusty carpet tile to put over my frame, and when I put the wheel on top of it so nothing can get scratched or damaged. And I always make sure that my disc rotor on the wheel that sits on the top is facing upwards, so it can't get bent or it can't get contaminated by anything on there. Now I also keep a blanket in the back of the car, or a sheet, to put over the whole lot afterwards in case I'll stop anywhere on the way home from riding, but more often than not I'll be straight home, wash the bike and get that stuff done. And with heavier items like the floor pump, I don't want any chance of this rattling around and scratching my bike, so this will go in the footwell behind the passenger and driver's seat, and the same with the water bottle, so I can wedge it in there so it can't move. Last thing you want is a water bottle accidentally hitting the chainring and splitting open or whatever and just filling up the back of your car. That'd be a bit of a pain, eh? And of course, lastly, you want to make sure you've got a USB cable or a provision to charge your phone in your car. If you're anything like myself, Blake or Neil, you'll be taking Instagram pictures whenever you're out riding, so your battery's going to run low. And of course, keep some change handy because you've got to be able to cover road tolls and of course car parks when you go to trail centres. For a couple more great videos along these lines, click down here for the sorts of mistakes you make when you're travelling with your bike, and click up here for some trailside hacks. As always, give us a thumbs up if you like the content, and don't forget to subscribe to GMBN Tech. See you later.